Hey everybody, it's your girl Nell. How are you doing? And welcome to the Tiny Studio. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Um, Girl, you just don't know. Or guys, you just don't know. I've been having some issues with my things here in the Tiny Studio. And this is like the third recording that I've done, but hopefully third time's a charm. All right, so I took the Tiny Studio Assistant to work yesterday. Now, when this video dropped, it's going to be Saturday. So right now, right now for me it's Friday, but when this video dropped, it'll be Saturday. So for you, it'll be 2 days ago. So let me talk like that. 2 days ago, speak like that. 2 days ago, I took the Tiny Studio Assistant to work, and I decided just to have a nail day, and a nail NELL day. And I went to the Salvation Army. I then hung out at my favorite um consignment shop that I love, and furniture shop, antique shop. Love this place. I went there, and then I spent the afternoon hanging out at Border. Oh my God, I can't believe I said Borders. Barnes and Noble. And I had a really great time. And I just enjoyed just spending the morning with myself. It was kind of like a self-care type of thing. And I enjoyed it so much. And that's one of the things that I'm learning in grad school for becoming a psychotherapist. You really have to implement areas of self-care in your own life, and so they stress that so much. And I've been really trying to make sure that I have days or time blotted out in my schedule where I'm doing something just for me, just for Nell. So I went to the Salvation Army. Well, you know what? I don't know. The reason I'm talking about self-care and going to Barnes and Noble is because this is coffee and conversation. I have my coffee. I don't know if you can see it. I have some homemade whipped cream in there. I am drinking some Starbucks coffee. And so, as I said, this is coffee and conversation. But what got me on that was because the last time, the video that you will not see, where I was just, having all kind of difficulties, I was talking about how this is coffee and conversation, but the other day when I was at the Barnes and Noble, I tried some Starbucks iced coffee, and I tried their newest coffee called lavender and oat milk or something like that. And I just got it in the tall size because I wanted to try it out first before I committed to grande. So I must say it was delicious. I make my own oat milk, but this was delicious. Now I already know that Starbucks doesn't use their own, they don't make oat milk like I make oat milk at home. So I didn't taste that natural nuttiness from, real oat milk. But it was a refreshing drink, and I really loved the lavender aspect of it. It was really, really good. So the next time I'm out and about like that, I will go ahead and get some lavender, some iced coffee. I cannot think of what its name is. I think it's called iced lavender and oat milk coffee. It was really good. Go out and try some. So I was at the Salvation Army. Let me tell you about something. Listen, when you are going thrift shopping and you're going thrift shopping or vintage or antique shopping, you got to go with and you're going with the purpose. You got to get there on time. You can't be just like that, like I did yesterday, because you lose out, and you lose out bigly. Let me tell you what I mean. I was, vacillating on whether or not I was going to go to the Salvation Army or head over to the consignment store first. But then I realized that the consignment store opened at 11. And then my Salvation Army opened up at 9. So since the tiny studio assistant had to be at work at 10, I was already going to be I'm already an hour late to the store. So when I arrived, I was vacillating while I was driving after I dropped her off. Oh, am I going to go here first or there first? I don't know. Until finally I was like, I'm going to go to the Salvation Army. Now, all that time I spent contemplating on whether or not I was going to go to the Salvation Army or to the consignment store first. When I got to the Salvation Army and I got to the homeware section, I noticed someone's basket. And do you know that inside their basket, they had this vintage candy dish, and it had to be, I want to say it was, oh, I can't believe I got to think of it right now. Oh, it's going to bother me so bad. But it was a vintage candy dish, and it was on a pedestal, and it was blue. Okay, it was blue. And I want to say it was depression glass, but it not necessarily depression glass, but it had to be in that era. And it was beautiful. And I know I could see that a sticker said $6.99 on it. And so I saw it in her buggy, and then I saw she has some Chez Rosé in her buggy as well. And so I was like, shoot, I wish I had it just came straight on over here, because those items could have been in my basket. Now, the item that she had in her basket, I know was selling right now on the secondhand market for about $65. But I'm not trying to flip anything, but I would have just liked to have it in my home. Okay, because it was vintage. It's a really nice piece. And I would, I'm starting to collect depression glass again, and that would have been a great collection, a great addition to my collection. And as a matter of fact, I've seen that same candy dish with the pedestal. I've seen that over on eBay maybe about a month ago. So I was like, I wanted to just knock myself out for that. But instead, I found another candy dish that I'm going to put in the great room of my home. It is not depression glass, and it's not crystal. It is pressed glass, but it is so nice, and I love the way it looks. It's like it has that look of Fostoria crystal or Fostoria glass, but it's not. But I just love the design. It looks just like Fostoria, but it's not Fostoria. It comes from a mold. And you may say, well, how do you know, Nell, that it comes from a mold? I'm getting ready to show you. Because when you have things that are glass that comes from a mold, there's a seam in it. And I'm going to show you that seam right now, if I can find it again. Okay. Well, I found the seam on the top of the glass. I don't think you will be able to see it, but there's one seam there. And then last night I found another. But basically that's how you know that it's not exactly it's not crystal. But I just thought it was a nice, beautiful glass dish, and I'm going to clean it and put it on the table in my great room. So there will be 2 candy dishes in the great room. And the hubby just bought some Brock's jelly beans in. And so I think those cute jelly beans will beautifully fit inside this glass dish. So after I went over to the Salvation Army, I decided to head over to my favorite store, which is Design and Cosign. And let me see if I can find it right here. I don't even think that's the name. I think it's called Vintage Marketplace. I think that's the name of, because they used to be called Design and Cosign when they were, when they first opened, maybe about 10 years ago. 10 or 11 years ago in a neighborhood I used to live in, which was in Temple Terrace. So, that's one of my favorite stores. This Ethan Allen chair that I'm sitting on right now, I bought from them. So I really love that store. Anyhow, I was on their Facebook page. Yes, the name of the store is called Vintage Post Marketplace. It's a consignment store, home furnishings, decor, art, ladies' clothing, jewelry, and more from mid-century modern. And I love that store. Anyhow, I was on Facebook one evening, 3 evenings ago now, and I was scrolling down their timeline to look at the posts and see what new items they had in. And I saw this. Let's see, can you see it? I don't want to be too up close on it. But anyhow, let's see if I could turn it to the side so you can really see it. Oh man. I guess not. Let me see. Because well, I'll just let you, if you can see it. There are 2 white pillows on this couch. They're really fluffy, furry pillows. Can you see them? There's one and there's the other. And I was in bed scrolling and I really liked them. Dang it, I really hate that it's not showing up on the camera. Anyhow, I'm going to try it again. I think you can see it a little bit. Maybe if I move the camera around. Let's see. I don't know. Anyhow, I was in bed and I saw this and I was like, oh, I love those pillows. I love those pillows. So I showed the picture to the hubby and he was like, oh, those are really nice. And I was like, oh, they're mine. I'm great. I'm going to get those pillows. And that's exactly what I did. I went to, after I left the Salvation Army, I went over to the Vintage Post Marketplace, and I found those pillows. They were still there. And I got a really good discount on them. And that's one thing I love about going to places like Vintage Post Marketplace and things like that. If you have a really great store that you go to that allows you to negotiate prices, that's another reason why I just love this book. I love this store because they were willing to negotiate the price with me. And I'm a loyal customer. I'm good for it. They can negotiate with Nell, And so here is the pillow. It's a set. So this is the pillow. Oh, I just love this. Isn't it cute? I just love this pillow. It is so pretty. And the fur, it's not really fur. It's like, to me, it's like felt, but it's not exactly felting, like yarn felting. But it's just, it reminds me also of my hair when it's, growing out of a relaxer. Because look, the roots is kind of, have that naturalness to it, the curl is slowly coming back, and then the top part is just all relaxer. Listen, I was traumatized by relaxers. But anyhow, I really love this pillow. Oh my goodness. And I got it for a really great price. And the person who made this pillow, I meant to do some research on her. This is somebody named Laura Hill Home. So maybe I need to look her up, but I love this pillow. And what is it made out of? I had looked at it before. You can only spot clean, and it looked really nice. So I have to remind myself of that I have to spot clean this. Well, let's see. Does it tell me what it's made of? No, I don't see. I don't see it. I'm looking at the tag. You know what? Here's a question for you. When you buy pillows and you bring them home and you see the tag that says under penalty of law, this tag, oh, shoot, what am I talking about? It says under penalty of the law, this tag not to be removed except by the consumer. I'm the consumer, so I can't remove this tag. Okay. Oh, it says all new material consisting of 100% acrylic fabric with 100% polyester feel. Yeah. I love this pillow. So I bought, as I said, I bought the set, and they're sitting on my couch in the great room. Oh, this, and they're so cute on the couch. Okay, I already have pillows on the couch, but this is, oh, I love this. And I'm going to find out who this Lauren Hill. It doesn't say Lauren Hill, does it? Laura Hill. I'm going to find out who she is. I better do it now before I forget. Laura Hill Home. Let's find out who that is and what other things does she have. Laura Hill Home. Oh, look. Faux fur pillow. Let me just see. There you go. Laura Hill bedding and bath. Okay. Laura Hill Home faux fur pillows. Okay. So you can pick this up. She's on Wayfair. Okay. She sells designer rugs. She's been featured in, oh, she is also the Homes e-commerce editor for House Beautiful magazine UK. Okay. All right, you go, girl. All right, that sounds cool. So you can find her on Wayfair, Amazon, and Kohl's. Awesome. So, like I said, I love that pillow and I went to get it. And then another thing I also saw at the store, consignment store, was this vase. And do you recall the other crystal vase that I purchased from the same store maybe about 3 weeks ago? Do you recall that vase? I have it sitting on my kitchen counter. But this vase was the one sitting directly next to it. And I saw it again on a table. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take you home so you can sit with your buddy. And that's exactly what I did. I love this vase. I don't know who made it, but just like the other vase, it said it was made in Germany. So it's a crystal vase, and you can tell it's crystal because it's clear. And that's one thing about glassware that I've learned. There's a difference between crystal and glass, regular glass. Because see, this is a crystal glass. You see how clear it is? Now look at this candy dish. Now next to, which looks clear to you? The candy dish or the crystal vase or vase? As you see, regular glass is cloudy. You see that? It's not as clear, but the crystal, that's why they call it. You hear that noise? That's crystal. Crystal clear. So you can obviously tell the difference between glass and crystal. And there's the difference. Now you may say, what is crystal? Isn't crystal made from glass? No, crystal is made from the actual gem crystal. And it starts out like this. This is my piece of crystal quartz. This is the natural, and this is what it looks like when it's processed. So this is, and it's heavy. Like this is heavy. This is heavy. So this comes first, and you can turn this into this. Yep. Both of these, this is crystal. So, and what they do is they take the crystal quartz, and what they do is they grind it up. And they grind it up into a powder, and then they heat it just like they heat silica. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Silica. Just like they make sure that they grind silica into a fine powder, and excuse me, and then they heat it. And when they heat crystal, when they heat this, it becomes this. And it's weighty, it's heavy, it's substantial. And I went ahead and purchased it, and now it's sitting on my kitchen counter with the other vase I had there. I don't know what I'm going to put in here. Probably nothing. I don't know. Maybe I'll put some marbles in here, or some colorful marbles or something in here. Probably not. I don't know. But I'll think about it. But I just love the way it looks. So this vase, this crystal vase, and the other one that I showed you a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, these are sitting on my kitchen counter. And they look so regal over there. But I hope that you were able to tell. I hope that if you did not know the difference between glassware and crystal, I hope I was able to help you to, be able to know the difference in the future. And I'm not saying that this bowl is not heavy. That's not what I'm saying, because this candy dish is heavy, but it's not crystal heavy. Big difference. Huge difference. And like I said, I was thinking I like this because it looks like it's made by the Fostoria company. And maybe what I should do is I should look it up, because maybe this is Fostoria glass. I don't know, but I will be finding out. So that is what I did on my self-care day. Just really sitting back and taking care of Nell and enjoying Nell, and just having time to be with myself. I called one of my friends, one of my best friends. I called to talk to. I talked to her husband, because she right now is not doing well. She has Parkinson's, so she's nonverbal at this time, and also she's not mobile. So I, check in with her husband to check on, her, and then to check on him, of course, and the rest of the family, to make sure that they're okay, because that's a difficult thing to go through. And being that I'm going through it, or that I went through it this past year with having a spouse that is ill, it's, when you're the caregiver, it's a very sobering life event to have to go through. And then when you see your partner, because before I was married, before I met my husband, it was my best friend and I, and we met her husband to be at the club. Because we were out partying, and that's how we met her husband. We met him at the club, so we have a history. All three of us have a history together. And so talking to him again, just checking in on him to make sure that he was okay. That's important, to make sure that the kids, checking in on the kids. But I just wanted him to know that I was thinking about him, and that he is doing such a marvelous job as a caregiver to my best friend. He's doing such a wonderful job. And sometimes it can seem like a very thankless job, because get accolades. You don't get people calling you all the time to check on you. Sometimes people forget you. And that's why I wanted him to know that I didn't forget and that I'm thinking about him. And in fact, this blanket over here that I've been working on, the baked sweet potato blanket, that blanket is for her. I finally decided what I was going to do with it. I have another blanket that I was thinking about sending her, but I said, well, you know what? As soon as the baked sweet potato blanket is done, I'm just going to send her that one, and that'll be something that she'll know comes from me, and that when she's sitting down or, when she's watching television or something, her husband can wrap her up in it, and then, she'll know that that's my love in those stitches, and that I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about all of them. So this is Coffee and Conversation, child. I'm sitting here drinking coffee, and I have fruit on the table in the great room, and then I have fruit in the dining room on the table. And so I am always sitting around with a fly just hanging about. Always trying to get all fly all in the videos. Dancing all in the videos. Yeah, do you guys know where that reference comes from? That reference comes from Suge Knight, and I believe it was the 1995 Source Awards when Suge Knight was calling Puffy out. Puffy, Sean Combs, Diddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love. And he was saying, if you want to have, some hit records, and you want to, you don't want your producer dancing all in the videos and all of that stuff. If you don't want all of that in your videos, and you want to have a hit record, come over to Death Row. And I remember watching that. Me and my husband watching. We were like, "Whoa, we know who he's talking about. He's talking about Puffy." Because back in the day, and even now, Puffy be all in the video because Puffy wanted to be a star, okay? Puffy wanted to be a star, and he found a vehicle to make himself a star. His vehicle was Bad Boy Records and his artist. That's why he is on everybody's song. Because he is going to be the sixth member. He's going to be the fourth member. He's going to be your hype man. He's going to be all of those things, plus the producer and the owner of the label. So, yeah. And speaking of Puffy, oh my God. Lord. All I'm going to tell you is this. Is that we all heard the rumors. We all heard the things, okay, about Puffy. We heard about it, and some kind of way he was able to, maneuver himself in such a way where, as a lot of the things that people were saying about him in the press, somehow those things got squashed, and he continued to, to accelerate in his career. But here's the thing. I haven't seen a bad boy artist yet making music outside of Bad Boy Records. I just haven't. I think the only time, and the last time I saw it was with those, what was the name of that group? What was the name of that show where it was on BET, where they had all the stars or girl groups come together, and they made this one record. What's her name from Total was on that show? Pam? Yeah, I think her name was Pam. Pam was on that show. And I think that's the only record Pam has been on since her Total days. Because recently Puffy said that he was going to give his artists back their publishing or something like that. But what the girl from Danity Kane said, she doesn't want the publishing rights or whatever. She wants the masters or some crap like that. She said she wanted, because she says no money in. I think she said it was no money in the publishing. Tell me, remind me what she said. I can't think of her name right now because I'm trying to think of her name and it escapes me. And I want to say a name, but I know that's not her. So I see her face in my mind, but I cannot think of her name. Her name escapes me. But what she was saying was that what Puffy was offering them, that wasn't where the real money, that wasn't where the real money resides. So, she was kind of like, I don't know why he doing this stuff trying to appease me or appease us, because this is not where the money resides. And, this is just all performative. And sure enough, a month later, Puffy was being sued by Cassie, and we all know about that. And I had the opportunity to read all the entire lawsuit, and let me tell you, it was very salacious. And I was like, I would love to see how this is going to play out, especially in a court of law. But let me tell you, not even 24 hours later, Puffy has settled with Cassie. And it wasn't for the $30 million. It was for more than $30 million. Let's be clear on that one. And because I hear a lot of people going around say, oh yeah, Cassie got her 30 million. Now she all right. No, remember, Puffy's attorney said that they wanted to settle the lawsuit for 30 and Cassie had rejected it. So believe me, the number that Cassie had in mind was the number that she got to get this lawsuit settled. And now you have Lil Rod has come out talking about, the things that he's seen with Puffy, and he's suing people. And, it's just really something. I really believe that 2024 is going to be the year of revelation. We have different things happening, with the eclipse and whatnot. And, a lot of people are telling some truths. And now that we're, getting into, starting off 2024, I mean, if there's some junk that you've been doing that's in the closet, trust me, it may come out. So you need to get ahead of that story, because you don't want other people to, put you on blast. Put yourself on blast. Put yourself on blast before somebody else decides to put you on blast, because I'm trying to tell you, 2024 is taking no prisoners, and that's the real deal. I was also doing something in the tiny studio. Oh, that's right. I was getting ready to post some things on my blog spot, on my blog page. I don't have a blog spot anymore. I have WordPress, but on my blog, Nell's Tiny Studio, I was going to put some things on there. But I live in the state of Florida, and in my world outside of the tiny studio, I do a lot of political commentary, and also a little cultural commentary too. But recently we had the court down here in Florida decided that the pro-choice groups or activists here in Florida, they all got together and they came up with a proposal to put on the ballot in November. And the DeSantis administration tried to stop it, because they were saying that the language in the ballot proposal was vague. It was, misleading. They were trying to say that the general public would not be able to understand it. And the court ruled, no. We believe that the general public will get the basic understanding of this proposal. So you could put the proposal on the ballot, because you already have enough signatures for that to happen. And while you're doing this, we're going to reinstitute the 15-week abortion ban, which meant that DeSantis had signed he had also signed another ban, which is the 6-week ban, which he calls the heartbeat ban. So he already put that into place. So when the court said, we're going to reinstitute the 15-week ban, well, then automatically that triggered the 6-week ban. So what's happening now here in Florida is that, as a matter of fact, across the South, because Florida was the last spot where you could get an abortion up to 15 weeks. And as a matter of fact, I think that if you are a woman who is seeking some type of reproductive health service, and you come to the state of Florida, I think that you need to come to the state of Florida to seek that type of service. You have until, I believe, the end of May. I think you have to the end of May. Is it 30 days? So I think, no, today is May the what? The 4th? No, today is May the 5th. When this drops, it'll be, well, I'm talking about May. Today is April the 6th. So let's see. You will have 30 days. So that'll be May the 5th. May the 4th. Because that ban, the courts here in Florida reinstituted the ban on April the 4th. And so, was it April 4th? Yes. No, that's not true. April the 3rd. April the 3rd was when the ban was, and the court said, okay, we're going to reinstitute the ban. And so you have 30 days from April the 3rd. So May 3rd, that's it. So if you live in any of the southern states and you need to seek some type of reproductive health services, and you come to the state of Florida, you have now to May the 3rd to do that. Because after that, you have the 6-week ban in place. And basically, most women don't really know they're pregnant until after 6 weeks. I mean, when you think about it, with my children, I didn't know I was pregnant until, because you think about your cycle. So let's say you missed your cycle and it's been 4 weeks, it's been a month. By the time you discover, oh snap, I didn't have a period this week, my cycle was late. You wait a week or so, and then you wait a week, and you go into 4 weeks, and then you wait another week thinking you go into 5 weeks, because sometimes when you get pregnant at the beginning you have some spotting, so you see some spotting a little bit, and then you'll say, oh well, I guess my cycle is coming on. And then it doesn't come on, so you are into the 5th or 6th week, and by the time you get into your 6th week, you're saying to yourself, wow, I wonder what's going on, I wonder if I'm pregnant. So then you wait, get your check or whatever, get that little money loaded up on your card or what have you, and you go to your pharmacy and you get yourself about 10 tests, and you come back home and you take the test, they say you're pregnant. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to the doctor. So, you make yourself an appointment. Usually that appointment is a week or 2 out. And so you go to the doctor, you get your testing done, and you find out you're pregnant. And guess what? You're almost 2 months. You're almost 8 weeks pregnant. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying, So this is why activists are saying that the 6-week ban is ridiculous, because women really do not know that they're pregnant and do not get the full confirmation that they're pregnant until after 6 weeks. So to tell a woman, well, this is a 6-week ban, well, I really don't know. I don't know. I'm 8 weeks gone now. I'm 2 months gone. So, I I poo-poo that. It's just a bunch of men telling women about their bodies and what to do with their bodies is wrong. And if you're a person that says, well, hey, I don't believe in abortion. I believe that, I believe that pregnancy should be allowed to continue until birth. That's a great thing, but that's good for you. But what if you are one of the women, who, for some reason happen to miscarry? You happen to miscarry, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you, well, this pregnancy isn't viable, and send you home. Sends you home until your body naturally expels the fetus. What about that? Or the embryo? I forgot how it goes. But I know I've had about 4 kids and a couple of miscarriages. I forget, But what I'm saying is, not being funny or anything. What I'm saying is that, when you think about reproductive health and you think about abortion, some of us are only thinking about one thing. We're thinking about birth control. But what about those other, and that's just a small, tiny section of reproductive health. So what about the women who miscarry at a certain point and the baby is not viable and the baby has transition in the womb? And a lot of hospitals and clinics are not going to do or administer the type of health care that these women want until the natural process of expulsion has happened. But here's the thing with that. Sometimes a mom to be may need help in her body, helping her body to expose of this. There are things that can happen to a woman who carries a deceased fetus in her body. What about women who already know that their child will not be viable outside the womb, and they may have some type of deformity or deficiency, and when that baby leaves the womb, it's going to perish? Some parents or some moms decide, well, I don't want to have to go through that type of grief. So if you're telling me that my baby will not be viable outside of the womb, well, then I want to have the option to do W, X, Y, and Z. Well, that cannot happen. That's not, under the law, especially here in the South. And these are all the southern states now. All the southern states, no abortion here whatsoever. None. So, you're in a situation, if you are miscarrying a child, or you're miscarrying right now a baby or fetus, and you can't get any medical care. You can't get a D&C. I mean, I know some of you women know what a D&C is. You can't have access to that procedure because the hospitals and the clinics and the doctor's office are afraid to administer that procedure because it comes under the abortion ban. So if you're losing the pregnancy, and the pregnancy is no longer viable, then you have to stay at home until when? Until the natural thing happens. And if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to biologically happen, as sometimes is the case, then a woman risks her life. She could go septic. A lot of things could happen. That's why when we're talking about this abortion ban, that's the reason why it's so important that people understand that reproductive health and women's reproductive health, when it comes to, for as far as a person deciding whether or not they want to become a mom or not, that's only this much. This is only, you're talking about this much of the conversation. The part of the conversation that we're having is way over here, and it's about this much. Because then you have women who go through IVF. You know what I'm saying? A situation where you have maybe 3, 4 embryos placed in you, and let's say two become unviable or not viable. So what happens then? So a mom is supposed to put her life in jeopardy and the life of the other embryos that are viable, because the law says that the procedures that obstetricians can make or gynecologists can make or perform on a mom who's in trouble like this, we can't use those procedures because that's classified as abortion. See, we have to really think about these things. You know what I'm saying? We got to really think about that. And we got to think about what we're really doing and what we're really saying. That's why, these type of laws about women's reproductive health, they shouldn't be there shouldn't be any type of legislative action taken by the government on such a thing, because these questions and issues of women's health should be something that a woman and her doctor decides, a woman and her husband, boyfriend, partner, whatever. That is a conversation that has to be had between them. I'm going to tell my own experience right now. When I found out I was pregnant with the tiny studio assistant almost 20 years ago, I was told that there were some things, being not just my age, but there were some things going on with my pregnancy due to a disease that I had, not a venereal disease or sexually transmitted disease, but a disease that I had acquired that would effectively possibly put the life of my unborn child in danger, and would possibly maybe uh, lead to early a miscarriage, or my child could develop the disease in utero, and when it was born, this have all kind of things going on medically that would not make life a very desirable one to live. So we got the test results back and everything, and the possibilities was great. The obstetrician had a conversation with my husband and I. And she told us what the deal was, the pros and the cons of continuing the pregnancy. And then she says, it's up to you about what you want to do, but you need to let me know because you are already, how many weeks was I? I think I was 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. And so my husband and I went home and we talked about it, and, we cried about it, and we prayed about it. And so we decided that we were going to continue the pregnancy, right? And we just decided that we would deal with whatever came. Whatever was going to happen, we would deal with it. If our child came out to be mentally incapacitated or physically incapacitated in some way, that we would bring it home, and we would still love this child unconditionally. And we would just have to manage our life around that circumstance, and that's it. That was our decision. So we went back to my obstetrician. We told her what we had planned, and then she asked me personally, "Is this what you really want?" I said, "Yes, we've already decided." And so whenever we would come in for subsequent visits to get for me to get checkups and for them to do testing on me and to do testing on a tiny studio assistant, she put that in front of us. She said, I have to do this because I need to let you know what the pros and the cons are and what you could be expecting. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. No, we still feel the same way, So after I got to be about 7 months, she stopped asking. And so, it was something that was over our heads that I could give birth to my child, to our child, and there could be something really wrong. And we were ready for that, you know. And then when the tiny studio assistant was born, she was fine. She was great. You know, her heart closed up, you know, like it was supposed to. You know, there was no abnormal activity on her brain or anything. She was doing what she did well. You know, all she needed was some antibiotics and she was fine. You know, she didn't have jaundice, she didn't have anything. She was perfect. She was perfect. And I was so happy. We were so happy and we were so relieved. And so was my obstetrician. She was like, I had to, you know, it was my duty to let you know from the start what the pros and the cons were. And I had to let you know what the information I had. She said, I had to let you know what the deal was, you know. So, you know, I'm happy too. She was like, I'm happy too. Everything went fine. And I was, you know, I was happy as well, you know, but the thing is, my husband was saying the other day, is that we were given a choice. Just think about that. We were given a choice. And that's what he said. He said we were given a choice. And that's what you want. Those are the type of conversations that you have with your doctor. You have those conversations. And those conversations are confidential conversations that we don't need to be talking about this. This should not be a topic for public conversation. This is something that we should be talking about amongst ourselves, amongst our partners, you know, amongst our primary care physicians. You know, that's why this abortion situation, this whole thing, it has to be decided by the public. The public has to, you know, voting counts. I know a lot of people say, oh, voting doesn't count. My vote don't count. Your vote don't count. In this instance, yes, your vote counts. Your vote definitely counts. Your vote is your voice. And everyone who feels that women's health is a priority and should be only a decision made between them and their primary care physician, obstetrician, gynecologist, specialist, what have you. If you believe that, whether you are male or female or whatever, then your voice is needed in November. Especially if you live here in Florida. If you feel like I do, then come November, then you need to be at the ballot, at the polls, and you need to let Governor DeSantis know that you are not down for having government in your doctor's office with you like that. You know, you really should be at the ballot voting to have the protection of women's health enshrined in the Florida Constitution. You know, that's something that we must do, and we have to do it. Enshrined for future generations. And don't let me tell you get into about what's going on in the South today, because like I said, the entire South has banned abortion. Every state. And that's not the only thing the South is doing. And that's not the only thing the South is banning. So, you know, voting has consequences. So if you don't vote, then your voice can't be heard at all. And not voting has consequences. So you have to vote. And when you vote your interests. All right, then. So I'm going to get off the line and I'm going to finish my coffee here. And after I finish my coffee, I have some school work to do. So I'm going to break out with the books here in the tiny studio and get to reading and do the things that I need to do. And I'm going to finish up this blanket. I was working on it today. Oh, you know what I meant to tell you? You guys remember that little clip that I was using for as a stitch marker? Let me tell you, the top of the clip, it's like a little spring snapper wrapper type of thing. Anyhow, you remember, listen, I'm going to get off here in a minute, but It didn't work. I'm back to using regular stitch markers. So listen, I will see you next time here in the Tiny Studio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the notifications button. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. I'm your girl, Nell. Bye-bye.